Great. Um, yeah, another Elvis Grunge video. Why the public isn't allowed upstairs at Graceland. So yeah, let's go.
Even presidents aren't allowed upstairs at Graceland. In fact, in all the decades since Elvis's death, only one person got an exception to the rule. Elvis's famous abode, Graceland, is a must-visit destination for any tourist passing through Memphis. As many as 500,000 people stop by Graceland each year, making it one of the most visited homes in the United States, second only to the White House. The site offers visitors a chance to join a group tour or take a tour on their own, guided by an iPad. Either way, visitors can take in the property, see the mansion itself, and even check out Presley's prized fleet of cars. Graceland is more than just where Presley lived, though. It's also where he's buried. After trouble with vandals and a number of attempts to steal the king of rock and roll's body, the singer's father, Vernon, decided to move both Elvis and his mother, Gladys, from their original burial place to Graceland. Elvis's father and his grandmother, Minnie Mae Presley, are now also buried at Graceland, and there's even a monument to Presley's twin brother, Jesse, who was stillborn. Reportedly, Presley's daughter Lisa Marie Presley is set to be buried at Graceland alongside her son, Benjamin Keough, who died by suicide in 2020. Though Graceland is now synonymous with Presley, he wasn't the property's original owner, and he didn't come up with the name either. The 14-acre estate was once part of a larger 500-acre property owned by the S.C. Toof family. The mansion was built in 1939, and the property was named after a member of the founding family. The original owners of the house were Ruth Brown Moore and Dr. Thomas Moore. In their day, the Moore family was well known in Memphis, Tennessee, and while they're not Graceland's most famous residents, they were the first to make it a musician's home. Their daughter played harp in the Memphis Symphony Orchestra. Presley bought Graceland fairly early in his career in 1957 for around $102,000, or just under $1 million today.
Jesus.
Leading up to the purchase, Presley had enjoyed a successful year, making numerous television appearances and benefiting from strong record sales. He was also preparing for the leap to the big screen, and production on his second movie, Loving You, was well underway.
That was just lovely, son.
I never heard you sing that way before, Deke.
I never really felt this way before, Susan.
During Presley's lifetime, he expanded the mansion from the original 10,000 square feet to around 17,000 square feet. While still the king's private residence, it hosted countless friends and family members, who sometimes stayed outside the mansion and other accommodations on the property. Presley's private space was on the second floor. A few years after Presley's death, Graceland opened its doors to the public, mostly. Ever since the first tour groups went through Graceland in 1982, one section of the house has been left entirely behind lock and key, even for presidents and high-ranking foreign officials. The reason given is that Graceland's second floor is where Presley's master suite is located, and that even during his lifetime it was a restricted area. This was one of the few places where the incredibly famous singer could get some privacy, and only those closest to him were permitted to enter. That's not the only factor, however. Famously, Presley died in the bathroom just off the master's suite, and that's a major reason why no one is allowed up there, with the exception of Presley's ex-wife Priscilla, his daughter Lisa Marie, and the property's curator. Rumor has it that the interior of the space remains unchanged from the moment Presley took his last breath. The concern is that visitors would care more about the bathroom where Presley was found dead than they would about celebrating the singer's life. While just about everyone who has ever asked to go upstairs has been turned away, one big Elvis fan was granted permission. Nicolas Cage was once married to Lisa Marie, and during their marriage, Cage, a diehard fan of Elvis, was allowed to check out the king's private refuge.
Amazing what fame gets you. That's crazy how cheap he bought that for. Like $1 million, even in today's money, is nothing for that house. I mean, I haven't got $1 million, but still, that's ridiculously cheap. Like Graceland is huge, but it makes sense. It does make sense that yeah. People, it's a funny thing with humans. We do have an obsession with death, but maybe because it's the one thing that's guaranteed for everybody. But yeah, that's the reaction. Sweet.